Hey there, Hannah here. I want to talk about engagement. No, not the ring kind, the other kind. Employee engagement, workplace engagement. Those are terms that are tossed around a lot and we hear them over and over. But what exactly is it? What does it mean to be engaged at work? Well, for me anyway, there are a few words that come to mind when I think of a person who is highly engaged. First of all, the word connection. So someone who is very engaged feels a high sense of connection to shared values, to people, to place, and most importantly, to purpose. Another word that I think of is someone who is absorbed in their work. So they're really into it, they're really enthusiastic about what they do. Another way to describe that is being in a state of flow. So we've all experienced flow when we're doing something that we're just so lost in that we lose track of time. Everything else just kind of ceases to exist, and we're just in it, right? A lot of the creativity studies have studied jazz musicians, for example. When they improvise, they get together in a group, and the group groove is so tight, and they're just so connected, and they're feeding off each other's energy, and they're creating incredible music on the spot. Same with improv theater groups, for example. But we all have the ability to experience that state of flow, and when we're in it, we know what it is, right? So those are some of the characteristics of someone who is highly engaged at work. So what are some best practices or tactics for building greater engagement on our teams? As leaders and consultants, people who are responsible for bringing people together to advance a shared purpose, that is probably the number one, right? We've already alluded to it. Anchor to purpose. So when we're able to connect our personal purpose, our reason for existing and for being, and we're able to connect that to the organization we work for the team we're on, to the project we're on, that means we're able to literally fulfill our purpose just by doing our work. That's a powerful way to create engagement. Another thing that's really important is giving helpful attention. There's this misnomer that feedback is what creates engagement. And it's actually attention. Attention is what we all crave, right? As humans, we want to feel seen and heard and understood. So when we can give helpful attention to people, they are more engaged. Now, the quickest way to create disengagement is to completely ignore them, right? Don't do that. Critical feedback is a form of attention. It's a form of negative attention, and negative attention is still attention, right? So with negative attention and negative or critical feedback, you do get higher engagement than if you ignore people. That is true. But where we see exponential levels of differentiation and higher levels of engagement is when we provide positive and meaningful attention, especially around what people are naturally good at. So what is it that people are already doing well? When we notice and we point it out and we let people know that we noticed and we give them attention to what they're good at, they tend to do even better. So that is a hugely effective way to create engagement. So with that also comes flexibility and autonomy. As human beings, we have a high need for autonomy in order to feel engaged. So that means autonomy of time, of task, and of team. So in other words, having some flexibility around when we do our work, in which way we choose to do our work, and with whom we choose to do our work, those are elements of engagement as well. So flexibility, autonomy, that means we have to set a clear intention, clear expectations around intent, okay? But give the people autonomy over execution. And finally, that really brings us to sharing meaningful recognition, right? We mentioned before that people want to feel seen and they want to feel heard and they want to feel understood. So when we share recognition, when we recognize people's good work in a public or private way, but we recognize what people do well, that is ultimately what people really feed off of and what will create high levels of engagement. So, what is the bottom line? Actively engaged people willingly go the extra mile to take care of their customers and advance the shared purpose.